And what was your perception of leadership versus reality?
Well, I mean, it really comes down to the difference between management and leadership, really. Certainly, I've been in the industry for long enough that there probably wasn't a difference when I first started. Certainly in the tech industry. Management was all about timesheets, project plans, Gantt charts, review forms, and just telling people what to do. And I realised when I started it, the reality is actually very different. And you do end up doing those sort of things as a people manager, or at least some of those things. Tend to find the less of those things that you do, the better you are at the actual leadership bit. But obviously some of it is required. Nowadays, it's much more like a servant leadership has become very popular with a lot of people, including myself. In understanding what the team needs to be effective, and growing the team, coaching and mentoring, those kind of things, much further away from the mechanics of managing people.
Yeah, it's more, being sympathetic and how can I support you, as opposed to let's get this done.
Yes, yeah, and also sort of realizing what the team, what they don't know that they need as well. Understanding sometimes some team members may require more support, or the team may need a better direction, or they may need to buy into their own direction, those kind of things. And it's a lot more of that kind of approach now, rather than go do this, go do that, do that.
Yeah. And knowing what you now know, how could you have been better prepared for a leadership role?
I often joke with other managers that I wish I'd learned to play golf.
Yeah.
That is probably, do people still play golf that often now? It used to be that most business was done on the golf course rather than in an office. Well, at least that was what people believed. And while I don't think people play so much golf anymore, building relationships with people outside of the team and inside of the team is a thing that I wasn't very good at, and something that to learn how to do as a leader. Mainly so you can build trust with your team, and then also so you can get input from externals and people like that, and stakeholders. One of the things I've found is that I'm not a football fan, and it's amazing how many conversations start with, "Oh, who do you support?" I'm like, I don't know. So finding good answers to that is something I still struggle with a little bit, but we're getting there.
Golf is still popular with some of our leadership team, and even and more so recently is paddle. I don't know if you're familiar with paddle. It's kind of like squash and tennis combination, but it's getting popular in our office at present.
Squash was definitely one that was very popular, and fast as well. Very American.
What's been your biggest leadership challenge, and how did you overcome it?
I think my biggest leadership challenge was a particular team that I took over. I started afresh, really, and I was sold the role as being very much a technical team leadership role, working out how we were going to solve problems and those kind of things, and less about the sort of what will we do. And I had very much struggled to make that team effective. Certainly outside of the team was considered to be failing and struggling to do what they were supposed to be doing. It became very clear, particularly after a very difficult performance review of my own, that the issue was that the team didn't really have a purpose, didn't really have a sort of what should we do. And particularly what we really needed was something like a product owner or product manager. And so with my servant leadership hat on, I had to basically become a product owner.
Wow.
Which was an interesting learning how to sort of manage stakeholders, prioritize work, present plans to outside of the team, and then get buy-in from inside and outside the team. All that reporting status and progress and managing expectations, all the stuff that product people do. That was an interesting learning. I managed to find somebody who was good enough to mentor me and how to do a lot of that stuff, which was really helpful. I sort of followed him around a little bit and learned from what he did, and was able to take some of that. Certainly that mentoring thing is, finding mentors is something that I've only, in the last couple of years, realised is really, that's able to me to sort of really extend my abilities recently.
It's a very common theme to a lot of people's success, and it's, again, it's people that's been on that journey that can guide you in that direction. It's very useful.
It is, yeah, because you don't know what you don't know is often the biggest hurdle to a lot of areas, and also having that external locus to somebody who can say to you, actually, if you thought about it this way, it's very helpful. Wish I'd learned that much earlier in my career.
Yeah.